8086. And another question may be explain the minimum and maximum mode operation. So to enter into 8086, it's about unit 4, and I think you have received all this PPT and all. So we are going to see what is the difference between 8085 and 8086 and what are the signals are there. I told you when you understand 8085, it is easy to understand the signals of 8086 also. So 8086 is a 16-bit microprocessor. Okay, 8085 is 8-bit microprocessor. So it is a 16-bit microprocessor. So the length of the microprocessor get increases. So 8-bit and it is a 16-bit, and both are the Intel manufacturer. Okay, and comparatively the 8086 speed is higher than that of the 8085. Now we are going to see some difference between 8085 and 8086. I have listed out the differences. So 3 units you have entirely studied about 8085. This is the 4th unit. Exclusively you are going to study about 8086 microprocessor. So first point is 8085 is 8-bit microprocessor, and this is 16-bit microprocessor. So 16-bit means 2 bytes, or we can say 1 word. Okay. So it is 8-bit data bus and here 16-bit data bus. So depending upon the length of the microprocessor only, the data bus length is decided. So 8-bit na 8-bit data bus, 16-bit na 16-bit data bus. Okay. Then address line. Address line will decides the capacity of the or memory of the microprocessor. 8085, my address line is 16-bit. So we will say 0002 FFFF. But here my address lines will be 20-bit address lines. So what is the memory capacity of 8085? 2 power 16. That is 64 KB will be the memory of 8085 microprocessor. But when you go with 8086, it is 2 power 20, 1 megabyte. The memory will be. So memory will be increased than that of the 8085. And one more thing, microprocessor means the characteristics will be same. So when you take its pin, when you take the microprocessor, the ALU unit and central control unit will be embedded on a single chip. So if I want to interface the memory, it is an external memory. So through external only I have to interface. There is no onboard memory. Yesterday we have seen about onboard, but here today when you take microprocessor, if you want to interface the memory, it will be present externally only. So 8085 64 KB memory and 8086 is 1 MB memory. Okay, how it is decided? Depending upon the address line. 2 power 16, 64 KB, and here 2 power 20, 1 MB. Okay. Then flags. We all know, depending upon the arithmetic content, the flag will be set up. So here we have studied 5 flags are there, but here 9 flags. So flags will be depending upon the flag register. So while you're learning about the register and architecture, you will learn detail about what are the flags. The common flags are carry flag, parity, depending upon the odd parity, even parity, sign flag, zero flag, auxiliary carry flag. There, apart from that, we have 3 more flags are there: direction flag, trap flag, overflow flag, and interrupt flag. Okay. Then 8085 is accumulator based processor, and this is also accumulator based, but here we have to in account what general purpose register will be there. General purpose means when you take 8086, the length of the 8086 is 16-bit. So obviously my accumulator is also 16-bit. So we have AX, BX, CX, DX. 4 registers are there. That is general purpose register. A means accumulator. B means base register here. C means it is a counter register. D means data register. So we have accumulator plus along with this general purpose registers are there. Okay. Then here in 8085 we don't hear about minimum and maximum mode and all. So here we don't have minimum maximum mode. But when you go for 8086, its main thing minimum and maximum mode is present. So what is minimum mode now? Single processor means I can use minimum mode. Multiple processor means maximum mode. Okay, what is single processor? What is multiple processor? Now, if I want to connect any other processor with 8086, for example, it's a mathematical processor. We used to say it's a co-processor. I can able to connect in multi-processor unit. So that means the speed of the processor will get increased comparing with the minimum mode. So minimum mode means only one processor I can connect. Maximum mode, multiple processor. So one will act as an master and another will act as a slave, or we can say client and host. So the same way maximum mode means multiple processor will be connected. And in 8085 we don't support pipeline. I will explain in next slide what is pipeline architecture, and it's very important to mark. What is pipeline architecture? We will see in next slide. Okay. The next one is memory segmentation. We told what is the memory capacity of 8085, 64 KB. And what is the capacity of 8086? 1 MB memory. So 1 MB means we have 4 memory segments. Code memory, code will be stored in code, data memory, extra memory, stack memory. So we have a memory segment, code segment, data segment, memory segment, stack segment is there. So we used to say in this, but here we don't have a memory segment. And then transistors also they have compared. So transistors, when you take the number of gates used will be minimum in 8085, but when you comparing with 8086, it will be very higher because it will do multiple operation, so many superior operation than that of a 8085. Okay. So next we will go into pipeline. I told you pipeline is one of the important 2 more. What is pipeline architecture? In 8085, we don't have pipeline. We don't have pipeline now. For example, I am taking one instruction. So that particular instruction will be decoded, then it will be executed. After completing this first instruction only, it will go for the second instruction. Okay. So this is after taking the second instruction, again it will be decoded and executed. But in 8086, we have pipeline. Pipeline parallel operation will be carried out. So when I am taking my first instruction, when it is decoding, automatically it will fetch the second instruction. So what happened? Here we have a queue-like structure, queue structure. So while I am taking my first instruction, it will be decoded and it will be executed. Then parallelly, it will fetch the second instruction. So while first instruction is executing, I can fetch my second instruction. While second instruction is executing, I can fetch my third instruction. So this is pipeline architecture. So fetching, decoding and executing parallelly in the 8086. That is pipeline architecture. We can say the speed of the microprocessor get increases comparing than that of a 8085. It's a very good concept, and it will be introduced in 8086 in the 16-bit microprocessor. So you have to understand. So nowadays all the microprocessor will be in the pipeline architecture. One instruction is fetched means automatically it will fetch the second instruction also, while first instruction is executing. Okay. The next one is pin diagram. So remember, while seeing this pin diagram, you don't need to remember all the pin numbers. We have to segregate only the pins only. So again, it is the total pins. And what are all the pins we have studied in 8085? The same set of pins only. Only some of the pin get changed. So this is the pin diagram. The next I am going to group in signals. So by grouping in signals, you can understand very well. Okay. So here I have grouped as in a form of signals. Okay. So now definitely any IC we need a power supply. Okay. And after that we have a DMA. DMA means direct memory access, hold and HDL signal. Okay. Then interrupt signals are there. Okay. Then mode select. I told you minimum and maximum mode. We have one pin. That pin only decides the minimum mode or maximum mode. Don't say minimum and maximum. There's single processor, multi-processor. Minimum means single processor unit. Maximum means multiple processor. Then it is easy for you to understand. Then address and data buses are there. Definitely. What is the length of the, how many bits are for the data bus? 16-bit. And for address, 20-bit. So 16-bit data bus and 20-bit address lines. Okay. Then memory IO control. So this is the total thing. You have to remember in the way to how we are grouping the signal. Now we will see individual signals in detail. Okay. So I told you, so totally 40 pins are there. In the 40 pins, the 32 pins are mainly for the common functions. It will do all the common function. The 8 pins, they are mainly allocated to do for minimum or maximum function. So depending upon Mn/Mx bar, I think you can understand that Mn/Mx bar means this pin will decide the minimum or maximum, single processor or multi-processor. So if the value is 1 means it will choose the minimum function. If the value is 0 means 0 bar, we all know 1. So it will choose the maximum function. So depending upon that only the 8 pins will work. So whether it is want to work in minimum mode, the value of Mn/Mx bar will be 1. If the value is 0 means it will work in the maximum mode. The remaining 32 pins is the common functions pin. So first we will see 32 pin common function. Then we will exclusively see what are the minimum mode functions pin and what are the maximum mode functions. So I think the pins and all, it's not a complicated one. Whatever we have studied in 8085, maximum we will use the common name. And one more thing, they can ask the signals in 2 marks, or sometime in part B, the question will be like that. Explain the pin details of 8086 and explain in detail about the signals used in 8086. So this question is mainly for the signals of 8086, and we have seen power signals are there, DMA signals are there, interrupt signals are there, address and data signals are there, memory and IO control signals are there. So 5 signals we have seen. Now we are going to see the 32 pins in detail. So first we are going to know about the power supply. Any pin we have to know the power supply. So for any IC, the plus 5 volt is necessary. So the 3 pins, they are mainly allocated, 1 for supply and 2 for the ground signals. So supply and ground signals we are seeing first. Then clock signal. So I told you that the clock signals will plays the major role on the deciding the frequency. So 1 pin they are allocating for the clock. Now the input will be given from the oscillator. So this will decides a clock signal will be given to this. So depending upon that, frequency will be decided. So whether it may be a 5 megahertz or 8 megahertz or 10 megahertz, the frequency. So clock will, from the clock we will get the clock signal. It decides the frequency of the 8086. So 3 range of frequencies there: 5 megahertz, 8 megahertz, 10 megahertz. Then next AD0 to AD15. So the question may be always come from this signal. Why address and data pins are multiplexed? What is the main answer for that? Now, 1 pin will serve address and data. So to avoid to get that purpose only, we were multiplexing address and data pin in a single pin. So we can reduce the number of pins used here. So here AD0 to AD15. I already told how many data bus in 8086. 16. So 16 D0 to D15. So that will be the 16-bit data bus. Okay. So address bus we are told 20-bit. But 20-bit we are multiplexing only 16-bit. Okay. So the remaining 4 bits separately we will in separate pins. Okay. So AD0 to AD15 means address and data are multiplexed in a single pin. Okay. That is the purpose. What is the main purpose of this? To avoid the number of, to reduce the number of pins, we are multiplexing address and data in a single pin. So AD0 to AD15. AD0 to AD15 means what? Totally how many bits? 16 bits. 16 bits for data and 16 bits for address. So remaining 4 bits for address is that we will see separately. Okay. Now we have to know, we have to definitely separate the address and data. To separate the address and data, what signal we will normally use in 8085? Yes, ALE. ALE will separate both address and data. ALE means what? Address latch enable. So address latch enable, always this address latch enable will be high. Okay. So I think you can see from this diagram, please look up the diagram, A0 to A15, address will be separately latched. Then D0 to D15, data will be separately latched. So I can separate the address and data by using ALE pin. So ALE pin can be separate the address as well as data. So my 16-bit address as well as 16-bit data will be separately latched using ALE signal. And then read bar. Read bar we already know. If I want to read any data from memory or any IO device to microprocessor, it will come, I can read it from memory or IO. That is read bar. Read bar means whenever the signal will go active low only, my read signal will be enabled. So read operation. Okay, read operation means we will read from memory to microprocessor. Okay, then reset. So we all know what is reset. If I want to terminate the current activity of the microprocessor, reset. So similarly, I think this and all we have already studied in 8085. Same description only. The description is not changed. So I think when you go with 8085 pin descriptions, the similar thing. Only some of the pin only we are going to study new. So reset is also the microprocessor terminates the current activity and it enter into the reset mode. Then INTR. INTR we have studied. INTR is interrupt request signal. So if a microprocessor is doing any process, if external device want to interrupt the microprocessor, it will send through the INTR signal. INTR means interrupt request signal. It is similar what we learn in 8085. So once it responds to the interrupt request, what it will send the acknowledgement, INTA bar, interrupt acknowledgement signal. Okay, then ready. what is, it's important to mark the same ready signal we already studied in 8085. What is ready signal? Ready signal means we all know processor will always work in the high speed. But when you go with peripheral devices that are very slow, so the slower peripheral devices want to communicate with the microprocessor, the slower peripheral device always sends a ready signal to microprocessor. That means the data, the device is ready to transfer the data. So the same way, the slower peripheral device want to communicate with the higher speed microprocessor, the ready signal is used to acknowledge the microprocessor, that is, it is ready to transfer the data. Okay. Then NMI. NMI, I think it's a new pin we are seeing in 8086, but already we have studied the same concept in interrupt of 8086. Non-maskable interrupt. What is the non-maskable interrupt in 8085? That is trap. So similar way here also, we have a one signal, non-maskable interrupt. That means I cannot able to mask this interrupt. It is nothing like that. Mainly it is used in the emergency shutdown period. Whenever any accident or fire accident comes, automatically this NMI signal goes. Automatically what happened? My processor has to put attention on this signal only. So that is NMI, non-maskable interrupt. I cannot able to mask or I cannot able to stop this interrupt signal. Then I told you that 20-bit address lines are there. So we have already seen 16-bit is multiplexed with the data. So 4 more bit is there. That bit is specified by A16, A17, A18 and A19. So 4 signals were there. So that is multiplexed here along with the status signal. So status signal, we all know status signal will decide a memory read, write or memory segment operation. For that we will use the status signal. Where we used S1 and S0. Here S3, S4, S5 and S6. Okay, I told you that S3 and S4 is mainly for the segmentation. Here, while we are seeing the difference between 85 and 86, 86 is mainly for segment operation. Segment means here what is the memory capacity? 1 MB. 1 MB means what? 2 power 20. 2 power 20, 1 MB. 1 MB, we have a memory segments. In a segment-wise memory we have. Data means data will be stored in data segment. Code means code will be stored in code segment. Stack segment. Okay, extra segment. So we have like a segmentation structure here. So here 2 inputs means we have 4 possible combination. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So extra segment, stack segment, code segment, data segment. 4 segments are there. Okay, next bus high enable, BHE. So what is bus high enable now? We will see in next thing. This bus high enable will choose along with the A0. A0 is the address bit A0. What memory we have to use? Actually, this is one of the new concept you didn't learn in 8085. There we have a 64 KB memory. But here, wow, we will divide the memory now. Odd memory bank, even memory bank. Odd memory bank means we all know odd numbers will be there. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay. Even memory means 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 or even memory. Okay. Even all will store only 8-bit data. But what is the length of 8086? 16-bit data. So what happened means D0 to D7. Lower order byte will store in even memory and odd order that is D8 to D15, that is higher order byte will be stored in odd memory. So here how it is stored now, 1 MB means 512 KB will allocated for odd memory and 512 KB is allocated for even memory. So what happened means my lower order byte will be stored in even memory, my higher order byte will be stored in odd memory. So depending upon that, here you are seeing 0, 0, whole word. Whole word means I told you that 2 bytes, 16 bits. That is whole word for from even location. 0, 1 now upper byte to order address, lower byte to even address. Upper byte means what? D8 to D15 is upper byte. Lower byte means what? D0 to D7. So the same way it will specify how to store the odd memory data and even memory, odd memory bank and even memory bank and how it is storing the data. So one point you have to understand, even memory means 0 to 46 will store the lower order byte. Odd memory means 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. It will store the higher order byte. Depending upon BHE and A0 signal. Okay. The next test bar. Test bar also it's a new in 8086. What is test bar? Now I told you that while I'm working in multiprocessor unit, mainly this processor is communicating with the co-processor. What is co-processor? Now putting always single processor in a thing, we can add some more processor. For example, when you take co-processor 8087, it is exclusively do all mathematical operation. When you take 8085, we have a limited operation only. We can do add subtraction. If I want to do multiplication, what we will do? Multiple addition we will do. Subtraction, division, what we will do? Multiple time we will subtract. But here we don't have such a kind. We can do division, multiplication also. Apart from that, we have a separate max co-processor unit, that is 8087. It will also combinedly do with the mathematical operation. So for that, test bar signal is used. So if it is low means it is continuing with the multiprocessor unit, or else if the signal is high means it is in the wait state. Then I told you, while we are going to learn about common functions, that is 32 pins. So far we have seen the 32 pins. This pin, this is the last pin, Mn/Mx bar. This only decides, this is the 33rd pin. You just look at the diagram, I have quoted on a red color, that Mn/Mx bar. So whether my microprocessor has to work on minimum mode or single processor mode, maximum mode or multiprocessor mode will be decided by this pin. So whenever this pin is high, it will go for minimum. High means what? 1. Whenever this pin is low, low means what? 0. It will goes to maximum mode. So this 32 pins will serve a common function. The remaining 8 pins we are going to see how it will do the minimum and maximum mode. I think in minimum mode, whatever we are going to say, it's equivalent to 8085. So again, that pin and all well known to you. Only 2 pins only we have to know newer. The remaining pins and all already we studied in 8085. Similarly, we are going to see the maximum mode. So 32 pins will do a common functions. The 8 pins depending upon this pin, whether it will go to minimum mode means that will say take. I think you can see from 24th to 31 pin. Okay, they have given 2 options, whether it will do minimum or maximum mode depending upon the 33rd pin. 33rd, don't remember the pin numbers and all. You just study in a group, then it is easy for you to explain. Okay, next, minimum and maximum mode. So I told you what is the difference and all. Actually, in seeing in detail, we will see the difference between minimum and maximum. So mainly minimum and minimum mode, it will provide a control signals. What are the control signals? Read bar and write bar. So we have a 2 operation, memory and IO operation. If I am taking from memory unit, it is memory signals we would say. IO devices na IO. So we have memory read bar, memory write bar, input output read bar, input output write bar. So that and all controlled by 8086. But maximum mode, we have a separate bus controller. Okay, so through the bus controller only, I will do all this operation. But you just remember, minimum is a single processor, maximum is a multiple processor. Okay, now we are going to see that 8 pins in detail. So these pins we have highlighted, that we are going to see in detail. What are the 8 pins which does the minimum and maximum mode? INTA bar, interrupt acknowledgement. We have told you INTR means what? It will request. So you see, any processor, it is like a handshake signal. If it receives any signal, it will respond to the signal. That is the processor they designed. So while it is very well in superior in Intel and all, they have explained in clearly. So you are all studying about the Intel processor, 8085, 8086, 8051. All are Intel processor only. So I think the signals also will be very common. What we studied in 1970s, how they developed in upgraded version also, same type of signal, just doing some modification we are studying. Okay, so INTR na interrupt request, INTR interrupt acknowledgement. It will acknowledge for that. Okay, so whenever it accepts any request, it will acknowledge through the INTA signals. Then ALE, I already told you, address latch enable. So it will separate the address bus and data bus. You may ask, oh, it is not used for maximum mode. It will be used, but bus controller will take the control and that only separate that. So, but here in minimum mode, ALE will do separate the address and data. Important 2 mark. ALE, what it will do? It serves the same purpose in 8085 and 8086. Then DEN bar. It is only new for you. DEN, then. DEN is nothing but it's not a DEN, a data enable signal. Data enable signal means what the data enable now. We all know now, while I'm doing read operation or write operation, you know, the data will be always bidirectional. So whenever I am sending my data, that will be enabled by this signal. That's why they have given DEN, data enable. Then DT/R bar. DT/data transmit, data receive. So I think whenever I am transmitting my data, the value of signal should be 1. I think you have understand. You always understand. DT means when it's high means this pin DT will work. when it is low means or means what? Receive. So you understand, if one pin is serving two purpose, now high, it will work in high as well as low. High means it will work for data transmit. Low means data receive. That's why they put R bar. 0 bar means what? 1. So you understand that DT slash R bar means data transmit. That means it whenever the signal is high. R means data receive. That is when it is low. So when it is high, data is transmitted. When it is low, data is received. So that is then M slash IO bar. That is, it is you already studied memory as IO. IO means input output operation. So M slash IO means memory operation. So in memory operation, obviously when it is high, it will choose which operation? Memory operation. When it is low, it will choose input output device operation. So the same way, one pin will serve two purpose, whether it will choose the memory or it will choose the IO devices, depending upon the high and low. High means memory, low means input output devices. Then write bar. Write bar, I told you write bar is also similar that write bar is a signal. So if I want to write any data in memory or any data in IO devices, the microprocessor will communicate with the memory or IO. So microprocessor to memory, that will be sent by the write bar signal. And it is also low active signal. Hold and HLDA, very popular signal we have already studied in 8086. So hold means DMA controller will ask address and data bus to use. So it will request the CPU to use address and data bus. So for that, the hold pin will be used. So DMA controller will request the microprocessor to use the address and data bus. Why means, if I want to do the transfer of data from memory to DMA controller, every time the microprocessor comes into the picture, the device will be slow. So to avoid that, they are bypassing this high speed processor, and the communication will happen between memory and DMA controller. That's why the DMA controller is requested to use the address and data bus. So through the pin, okay, which pin? Hold pin. So hold pins means what? DMA controller requests to use the address and data bus of the address and data bus of the CPU. Then HLDA. HLDA means what? Hold acknowledgement. Okay, once microprocessor is accepting this hold signal, okay, it will send the acknowledgement. I told you INTR, interrupt request. INTA bar, interrupt acknowledgement. Similarly, hold is hold request signal to use the address and data bus. So HLDA means what? Hold acknowledgement signal. It is acknowledged to use the address and data bus. CPU is acknowledgement, giving acknowledgement to use the address and data bus. Okay, so this and all minimum mode signals. I think you have all studied about 8 pins. All the 8 pins are already you have studied. The only 2 pins is new for you. One is DEN bar, data enable, and another pin is DT/R bar, data transmit and data receive. That is only the 2 new pins to you. The remaining all we already learned. Then we are going into maximum mode operation. So you just see the 8 pins we are going to see. These are all the 8 pins, how we are going to see in detail. Okay. So first we will see status signals. Status signals, in earlier version we have seen S0 and S1. Okay, and we have seen the probability 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. The same way here, bus controller will take all the control. So depending upon the status control signal only, it will give the operation. So here, how 8 operations are done? Interrupt acknowledgement. So 3 input means we all know 8 possible combinations will come. Okay, so they have taken 8 possible combinations, 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, all this combination. You now go for the machine cycle. So interrupt acknowledgement signal, okay, INTA bar. So read IO port, I told you IO or read bar. Write IO port, IO or write bar command, halt, okay, halt signal. Code access is nothing but opcode fetch, that is code access. Okay, read memory, memory read bar, read write memory bar, okay. Then passive, this is nothing but inactive. So all this 8 machine cycle will be controlled by the status signal, S0 bar, S1 bar and S2 bar. So that 3 pins mainly allocated what operation has to be carried out in the multiprocessor unit will be decided by this status signal. Then queue operation. I told you the queue operation mainly pipeline structure. We told you na FAFO. Yeah, FAFO means first in first out principle. So what happens means all the instructions will be in the like a queue structure. So what it will do, it will take the first instruction and it will decode. Then while first instruction is decoding, parallelly it will fetch the second instruction. So second instruction will be fetched. While the first instruction go on to the execution mode, the second instruction will go to the decode mode. So fetching, decode, execution will be done parallelly. But when you take 8085, it will first to fetch, then it will decode, then it will execute. After completing this only, it will go for the next instruction. But here it is a parallel operation. So that's why they have taken the queue status. So depending, two inputs are there, 4 possible combination. So depending upon the instruction format, first byte of an opcode from queue, empty the queue, and subsequent byte from the queue. It's a queue structure. So how we are forming the queue? It is 6 level of queues. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 level of queues are there. So depending upon that, it will respond to the queue operation. Then log bar, we are all now we are in lockdown period. The same thing here, log bar signal is used. So here the log bar signal indicates that the other processor should not ask the CPU to give up the system bus and all. So that means the pin is activated, means the particular processor is in the lockdown period. It is under the log. The other system buses should not ask the CPU to use the address at data bus. So log bar means nothing but everything is completely masked. Interrupt is masked. Hold request will not be granted. Everything. So microprocessor is in the log. The next one is RQGT. I think RQGT means bus request, bus grant. That we will use to say RQGT. Hold and HLDA signal we have studied now. Same thing only, RQGT. RQ means bus request. GT means bus grant. So what here we are having two signals. So which signal they give the highest priority now? RQ bar / GT not bar. That is for this highest. I think you just go through the last point. I think you may understand well that RQ bar / G2. I think you people put the polling and then we will continue the class. Okay, so students, so this is the 8th pin, bus request, bus grant. Okay, the two signals. So bus request is nothing but hold signal. Bus grant is nothing but HLDA signal. So RQ is bus request and GT is bus granted. So I think the two processor I am connecting now, the two processor will ask a bus request and bus grant. But one more thing, you understand that the highest priority will be given to RQ bar / GT not bar. Okay, so these are the 8 pins of maximum mode operation. So what are the pins we have discussed? 3 pins, S0 bar, S1 bar, S2 bar. They are mainly allocating for the machine cycle, and the 2 signals for queue status, and one more signal for log bar and bus request. So totally we have seen it discussed about the 8 pins and the 8 pins which serves the operations. Okay. So we have seen the 32 pins common operation and 8 pins for minimum operation and 8 pins for maximum. It will do minimum or maximum. The same way 24th to 34st pin. I think you can look up the diagram. 20 INTA bar. In minimum mode, you see INTA bar, interrupt acknowledgement. ALE, address latch enable. DEN bar, data enable. DT, data transmit, data receive. M/IO bar, memory or IO operation. WR bar, read bar. HLDA, hold acknowledgement. HOLD, hold request. Okay. And apart from that, we have 8 more signals for maximum mode. QS0, QN0, that is for Q signals. S0 bar, S1 bar, S2 bar, status signal. Log bar, then RQ bar, GT1 bar, RQ bar, GNT0 bar. So this 8 pin will serve a minimum mode operation, or 8 pins will serve the maximum mode. So I think when you ask the one question, discuss the pin detail of 8086 and explain the signals, means you have to explain till that. Okay. Then or else the question may be the second part of question. I told you 2 part B questions comes. Explain the minimum and maximum mode of operation. So minimum and maximum modes, now you have to explain the 8 pins of minimum mode and you have to explain with the diagram. Similarly, you have to explain the 8 pins of maximum mode and then maximum mode diagram. Now we will go to the minimum and maximum mode configuration of this 8086. I think students, please see the diagram of this. Then you can understand well. You just see this minimum mode configuration of 8086. You just see here. This diagram is not a complicated diagram. It is very easy diagram. Only thing is you have to understand. Okay. So you just see this diagram. Clock generation 8254. It's mainly for clock generation. I told you that clock signal, one pin is used. That clock signal is mainly to generate the clock pulse. So using that, the clock will be generated by 8255. That is given to 8086. Okay. Apart from that, we have to know 74373. What is the purpose of this now? ALE signal will be given. So ALE is, what is the purpose of ALE? It will segregate the address and data. So 74373 is a transceiver. It will separate the address and data. Okay. So that is, so ALE signal is fed to here. Then you look up on the next diagram. 74245 transceiver. Okay. So this will, what it will do now? It will do the bidirectional data. So that means my data will be sent to memory as well as I will receive the data from memory. So both the operations will be there. Read operation as write operation, both will be can be out there. So 2 inputs will be given here. One is DEN bar. Whenever data comes, DEN bar should be enabled, and DT/R bar. DT means data transmitting, data receiving. Data transmitting means write signal we will send from microprocessor. Data receiving, now we were reading from memory. Okay. So data transmitting or DT/R bar, DEN bar. All will be given to 74245. So one thing you understand, first is clock generation signal. And another one, ALE I am fetching for 74373 to separate the address and data. 74245 for data, bidirectional data. And I told you 2 signals will support that. DEN bar and data transmitting and receiving. Okay. Okay. Now just look up the minimum mode. In minimum mode, one more DMUX part is there. Control signal. You just see MIO bar, read bar, write bar, all will be fed here. So automatically I told you here we have a read bar and write bar are the control signals. Now here we have can generate 4 signals. Memory read bar, memory write bar, IO read bar, IO write bar. That's why this demultiplexer is separating memory read bar, memory write bar, input output read bar, input output write bar. Okay. Then and one more thing, BusHigh enable and A0 will have a odd memory and even memory. We have already discussed even memory and odd memory. So CS, what is CS? Chip select. So here we have seen RAM. RAM means random access memory. It will have a both read operation and write operation. Okay. So ROM memory means we have only read operation, no write operation. Okay. So by giving BHE bar and A0, I can separate, I can get my CSE means even memory bank. CSO means odd memory bank. Chip select even memory random access. Chip select odd memory random access. Chip select even memory that is read only memory ROM. chip select, odd memory, ROM. Okay, so I can separate 4 signals from here. Okay, now you go to 74373. So you have seen A0 to A15. I think A0 to A15 is only for address and data plus memory. We all know how many bits we are using address lines. 20 bits. So A0 to A19 they are using 20-bit address line. It is given to RAM, ROM as well as IO device. So you all know RAM and ROM only we have a separate even memory, odd memory bank. IO devices we don't have that because IO devices totally 64 KB memory. So that will be separate. So we don't have such a even memory bank, odd memory bank is not available for IO devices. Okay, now you see chip select bar is given. Chip select bar even, chip select bar odd. Chip select bar even, chip select bar odd. So first they have written for RAM. RAM means what? Both read and write. So it is memory operation. So we are giving memory read bar, memory write bar. Okay. Similarly here ROM. ROM means we have only one signal. What is the signal? Memory read bar only that. So we are giving only memory read bar. Then finally it is IO. IO means what? Input output read bar and input output write bar. So when you take this minimum and maximum mode, we are having one clock generation and one more pin, very important pin. If I am choosing minimum mode means how I am designing. One pin only decide. Which pin? MN/MX bar. That pin is high means it will choose minimum mode. You just see here MN/MX bar is connected to VCC means it will do which operation? Minimum mode operation. That means when it is high means it will choose minimum mode. So here we have a 74373 which separates the address and data and 74245 which is responsible for bidirectional flow of data. So I think RAM instance means we have a read and write bar signal, even and odd memory bank. ROM means even and odd memory, but only we have a read memory. Then IO is responsible for input output read bar and input output write bar. So if they ask minimum mode configuration, please draw this diagram. Then you explain the 8-pin detail. Can you understand? Similarly, maximum mode. Okay, I think both the diagrams looks very similar, but one thing here, 8288 bus controller will be used. There is no bus controller is there. Can you understand? This is the only one difference between that particular diagram and this diagram. Both the diagrams similar, seems to be same. Only thing is bus controller will be here. So bus controller will be here now. S0 bar, S1 bar, S2 bar. 3 status signals will be given, and from the 3 status signal I am getting 4 outputs. What are my 4 outputs? Memory read command, MRTC na, memory read command, memory write command, input output read command, input output write command. We have told in maximum mode S0 bar, S1 bar, S2 bar are the status signal. In that which operation, which machine cycle has to be taken out will be decided by depending upon the status signal. So all the status signal will be given here, and depending upon that it will generate. And one more thing, bus controller will take all the necessary signals. So you just see ALE also given to bus controller. DEN means data enable also given to bus controller. Data transmit and data receive is also given to bus controller. So you just see the bus controller chip alone. You see what are the inputs to bus controller? S0 bar, S1 bar, S2 bar. That only decides the 4 operation. Okay, ALE means separates the address and data. That is also given to bus controller. Then whenever my data is enabled, that also given to bus controller. DT/R bar, data transmitting or data receiving, bidirectional. That is also decided by this. All bus controller will take all the input. Depending upon that only, it will generate the signal and it will communicate with the coprocessor. I told you what is the purpose of coprocessor. If I want to communicate with all the processor, that is example mathematic coprocessor will that now, it will take care all mathematic operation. So the more burden will not be given to 8086. Some other processor will take some specific application and it will do. This is the main future of operation which is available in 8086, which is not exist in 8085. 8085 we can use only single processor at a time. But in maximum mode I can use multiple processor or coprocessor I can connect. So to connect the coprocessor, which is the most important chip used here, 8288, bus controller. Bus controller will decide which operations will be carried out. That will be decided by this status signal. And one more thing, INTA bar. INTA bar means what? Interrupt acknowledgement signal. That is also So acknowledgement is also given by the bus controller. Then the remaining and all same thing only. So you see CS, chip select logic will decide the BHE bar and A0. It will generate random access memory, even memory, odd bank memory, even memory, odd bank memory. Then IO all decided by BHE bar and A0. Then you have seen 7434373. So it gets the input from ALE and it's separating the address as well as data. Okay. So 74245. 74245 will receive the data, and then den bar and DT/R bar is also given to here. Then it will send the data to all the random access memory, read-only memory, IO devices. So these two are the memory, and the last one is IO. So we all know random access memory na memory read command, memory write command will be given. Read-only memory na memory read command only given, and finally IO means IO read command, IO write command will be given. So we all know what is the memory capacity of 8086. 1 MB. 1 MB means we have split it into 512 KB, 512 KB, and we have given as a even memory bank and odd memory bank. That, depending upon that, it will be selected. So we all know lower order byte will be stored in even memory bank, and higher order byte will be stored in odd memory bank. Okay. So the same diagram, both will carry the same diagram, but one thing you have to draw: bus controller. Bus controller will receive the input from status signal, ALE, data enable, data transmit and receive. Then after that only it will generate all the memory read command, memory write command, input output read command, input or output write command, and even it generate INTA also, interrupt acknowledgement signal. Then only from the bus controller only the signals will be given to memory as well as IO device. So here the remaining clock generator will be same 74373. That is also used to separate address. It is used as a latches to separate address and data through ALE signal. And 74245, it's a nothing but a data buffer to do a bidirectional command using den bar and data transmit and receive bar. All other will serve the same purpose. Only thing is draw bus controller diagram. Okay. So next, whatever we have seen till now, the difference between the minimum mode and maximum mode operation. I think minimum mode means, I told you several times, it's a one processor mode. Maximum mode means what? It is a multiple processor mode, multiple processor. So I told you 8087, it's a mathematical processor which will be used, and 8089, it's a IO processor will be used, and then MN/MX bar. This pin will decide. 1 means minimum mode, 0 means maximum mode. Okay, so here ALE will be decided by 8086, but here ALE will be decided by bus controller. We told you 8288 will take care of the ALE, and it only decides the bus control operation. Then only how to connect all the multiple processor will be decided by this bus controller unit. And here den bar and DT all decided by 8086, but here den bar and DT data transmit and receiver is decided by bus controller. Okay. And memory operation, memory read, memory write, input output read, input output write, all will be decided by 8086 in minimum mode. But here how it will be decided? By the 3 status signal, S0 bar, S1 bar and S2 bar will take the status from the status signal only the machine cycle operation will be decided. Okay. Then I told you INTA bar will be generated by 8086, but here INTA bar will be generated by bus controller. Okay. And in minimum mode, hold and HLDA signal will take the bus request as well as bus acknowledgement. But here, instead of bus request and bus acknowledgement, we are using RQ. RQ means bus request. GT means bus grant. Okay. And minimum mode is very simple unit, and it is very complex unit. And here the performance will be comparating with the maximum mode, performance will be very low. And here it will provide the higher performance. Okay, so I think you people have understand these topics well. So in this type, they may ask 2 types of questions. One will be the pin descriptions of 8086, and another one will be the minimum mode and maximum mode operation. So minimum and maximum mode operation you have to describe along with the pin detail and the diagram. Pin detail means you have to draw the eight pins. You have to explain the 8 pin along with the diagram. If they're asking the difference between minimum and maximum mode, now this difference is quite enough. Only thing is